On today's Moving the Chains, another installment in our ring season recap series today, the head coach of the 3A state champ, Oceanside Collegiate Landsharks, Brent LaPrad, joins us, Jerel. A really fun conversation.
Yeah, it's great catching up with Coach LaPrad. It's our first time being able to speak with him in long form. Has just stepped in and done a fantastic job, obviously, with them winning the state title this year. Great to hear his story. Great to hear the story of the season, and just some special players and special parts of the community that were able to get that state title for the third time back down to the Mount Pleasant area.
Hope you guys enjoy it. A look back at the full season for the Landsharks. Once again, here on Moving the Chains, the 3A state champ, Oceanside Collegiate Landsharks head coach Brent LaPrad doing a ring season recap.
Get ready for the ultimate South Carolina high school football experience with Moving the Chains. From previews to recaps, we've got you covered. Dive into our expert preview shows, predicting winners and sharing insights. Then join us post-game for the thrilling recaps, exclusive interviews, and highlights you won't find anywhere else. Plus, connect with fellow fans on our Friday night spaces on Twitter/X. No one covers South Carolina high school football like us. Join us at Movin' Chains on all social media platforms and visit movinchains.com today.
Welcome into Moving the Chains, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. I'm Kevin Thomas alongside Jerel Hendricks. Got a great interview today for a ring season recap, a very special guest, the head coach of the 2025 3A state champion, Oceanside Collegiate Landsharks, Brent LaPrad. Coach, how you doing today?
Doing great, man. Thank you guys for having me on here. Long-time listener and watch you guys, so it's an honor to be here with you guys today.
Well, Coach, we appreciate the kind words and appreciate your time as always. If this is you guys' first time tuning in, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter/X, Instagram, YouTube, and more at Movin' Chains, and our website, movinchains.com, our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. This was Coach LaPrad's first season as the head coach of the Landsharks, and they went 13-2 in 2025 on their way to the 3A state title. You know, Coach, we've had the chance to see this program play a good number of times the last few years. What, for people who haven't seen you play, though, how would you kind of describe maybe the philosophies of what you guys do on both sides of the football and just kind of how your team plays week in, week out?
Yeah, we're going to play an aggressive brand. You know, we tell our kids we don't want to win 14-0. We more of like we want to try to win 50-14. You know, we're going to blitz you and pressure you on defense and try to make big plays happen. We're going to give up some scores, but we feel like we're going to get one or two in the process of doing that too. And we're going to air it out on offense. We got a good quarterback, and that's kind of been the philosophy here at Oceanside the last 4 or 5 years, ever since the old back in the Sam Hartman days. We're going to throw the ball 50 times a game and put some pressure on you in the back. But that's really been our brand of football. And I think last year, this 25 season, the difference was our O-line. We were able to run the ball a little more than we have in the past. And that's kind of what coming into the season, that's what we wanted to focus on. Felt like we were really good everywhere else. Just if we were going to get beat, it was going to be a team that made us run the ball, and we couldn't hang in there with them. So we did a really good job up front. I was proud of our O-line this year.
Coach, you had a truly dominant season. I mean, on offense, you guys averaged 40 a game. On defense, only giving up 15. We see a lot of the press clippings. We know you have some really great players. But for those who aren't familiar with your program, who are some of the guys that led you on that state title run?
Man, I tell you, we had a really good group on both sides of the ball. It was kind of one of those years that everything just came together, and it was a dream season. I don't think we'll ever top last year's team, to be honest with you. But we had on offense, we were very senior heavy up front. We had the two twins, the Crady boys, Luke and JB Crady. They play center and right guard for us. And then our two tackles were just monsters. Mike Jones, he's been a two-way starter for us for 4 years. It's just incredible what he does every Friday night. And on the other side, we had Lamarion Thompson. He goes by Bronco. I coached him his freshman year at Fort Dorchester, and he transferred in to finish it off with me his senior year. And, man, he was kind of the missing piece we needed, and he anchored that thing down for us. He actually he lost about 35, 40 pounds in the offseason. He was a little too big, too heavy. He went from about 350 down to 320 this season, and I always joke him. He was like a dancing bear this year. He was moving all over the field. He moved from playing guard to playing tackle, and I felt like we made that move week 3, and once we did that, we went on a 13-game tear after that. So it's probably bad coaching by me not having him at tackle the first 2 games. But we were just very senior heavy up front. We have an extra player on the field every Friday night in our quarterback, Ada Manavian. He calls protections for us. I call bad pass plays. He gets out of them and runs power, runs zone. He has full controlled offense. I joke around that he's getting a desk in my office. So he has a desk. It's right there. He now has his own desk with me after winning 3 state championships. But he is just such a good kid. He's a better person than he is a football player. And I think the world of him as a football player. But he is just 5.2 GPA. Always the hardest worker, always the leader, the glue that keeps everything together. When stuff starts going bad, he gets us headed back in the right direction. There's just not enough good things I could say about him. It's going to be a sad day when we don't have Adam and Avian anymore at this school, and we know it. We are very lucky and very spoiled with him. And, man, I'm telling you, I'm glad we got one more ride together. It's going to be a special senior season. But he's definitely a special one. At running back, we had a really good running back coming back, and James O'Connor, we lost him first game of the year. He ends up breaking his leg against Irmo early in that game, and we had to move one of our better receivers, Zakai, to running back. He ended up rushing for like 1,200 yards, had a great year. So he really hunkered it down for us. He's a guy that's a workhorse, hardest worker I got in my program. Everybody jokes. They know that's my favorite player on the team. He's just a stud, great kid, had an injury his junior season, didn't get to play. So it was good for him to have that breakout year, senior year. And then we just got some weapons at receiver, man. It is crazy. Terrence Johnson, 88, is a monster out wide. Nobody wants to play him one-on-one. Another one, Anthony Williams, number 2. He is another one, had a breakout junior year for us, had over 1,000 yards. And then we got the guys in the slot that just eat you up. We got Ethan Renew, who plays tight end for us and slot. He's a guy that can go down the field on you if you don't watch him. You got Cooper. You got Tyler Gardner. Like, there's just so many weapons on this team. It's just crazy. It's a coach's dream offensively. There's definitely I knew what I was doing when I went from D coordinator to offensive coordinator this year because I knew how many weapons we had. So I definitely stacked the deck with that one, moving over to offense. So we were just actually loaded at every position on offense. We felt good about everybody. We don't have the depth of the 5A teams, but as long as our first 11 were healthy, we felt like we could hang with anybody. And we were lucky enough that the first 11 we started with, we only lost one. We lost our running back. So we had 10 of our 11 for the whole season. And that's a big part of winning championships. You got to be healthy and lucky too.
You know, Coach, just from watching you guys the last couple of years, I feel like you have one of the best coaching staffs in the state. Who were some of those guys that have really been a big part of that program outside of yourself, obviously, that you want to shout out here in the program?
Man, we have a really good staff. It's a unique situation here. We have 2 sessions of school. We have a group that comes in the morning from 7 to 11:30 and a group that goes from 11:30 to 3:45. So none of our football coaches are able to teach school because we're practicing during school. So it's a really tough situation. I only have me and one other coach at the school that have jobs in the school. And it's me and my defensive coordinator. And the rest of my guys are mostly retired guys or guys that make enough money out doing another job. So it's tough to find coaches here. But we've been really lucky that we've had a bunch of good college coaches that want to retire and come move down to the Charleston and Mount Pleasant area. So we have Coach Patterson. He's the guy that stepped up for us last year and was an interim coach. He was my assistant head coach this year. He does our offensive line for us. Does a great job. I mean, he's a guy that's been a head coach at Elon. He's coached in 5, 6 different high schools down here. He's just a special guy, a guy that I'm very lucky to have. And I got the wisdom of him coaching all those years in my back pocket. It's good to run things by him. Game day situations and stuff. Having somebody with his experience is always good. And then at my receivers, I have 2 coaches. I got really lucky at receiver this year. Sims Bennett actually played for us here about 6, 7 years ago, went on and played at Wingate. And then now he's been coaching with us for the last 3 years. He does a great job with our pass game. And we were lucky to get Joe Sabatini came in with us this year. So his granddad is Fisher DeBerry, the old Air Force longtime Air Force coach, probably one of the top 2 or 3 college coaches ever to coach. And Joe actually spent 3 or 4 years at UNC Chapel Hill when they had Drake May and Sam Howell, and we ran a lot of his offensive stuff this year. He was a big pickup for us. He really changed our receiving core, kind of got them headed in the right direction. Him and Coach Bennett did a great job with our receivers this year. And towards the end of the year, I think the last 3 or 4 games, I didn't even call the offense. We let Joe call it, Sabatini. He could just see it better than me up top, and I felt like he had a better feel for the defenses we were going against. Last 3 games, I turned it over to him and said, man, you got it. Yeah, go light them up. So very fortunate to have good coaches. John Drummond does our running backs for us. Sam Hartman's daddy, Coach Hartman, he actually does our tight ends for us. Having a guy that's an original Landshark here, we call it. Having him being the guy that started kind of when this program started, having him with us also helps a lot. On the defensive side, I got my D coordinator that I wanted. First guy I called and I took the job was Rashad Smith. He played for me at Fort Dorchester. He coached with me at Fort Dorchester. He went on and played some college ball at Newberry. But he's a guy that loves the game, and I love his emotion. He gets fired up, sometimes a little too fired up. I got to bring him back a little bit, but I love how he plays the game. He gets it from me. He kind of reminds me when I was younger and had a lot more energy. He could jump around a little bit more. That's kind of how I acted. And I knew he would fall in love with these guys over here, and they play hard for him. So getting him was a no-brainer. Our defensive line, Brian Coleman, he's our strength coach. He's the heart and soul of our team. Our kids love to go in the weight room. They have fun lifting weights. He's in there dancing and getting after it, and it's just a great situation. You got to have a weight guy that's a little bit crazy, D-line guy that's a little bit crazy, and he's that perfect mix of crazy. So he does a good job for us. And then I got James Pryor does my linebackers for me. I was a linebacker coach the last 2 years. So when I moved over to offense, I moved James from DBs to linebackers. And I told him he wants to be a coordinator one day, so he needs to start learning multiple positions. And he looked like he was crazy. I thought I was crazy when I told him I was moving him to linebackers. But I said, man, my dad did the same thing to me, and I had the same look on my face. I said, you'll appreciate it one day. And he really did. By the end of the year, he really liked coaching linebackers. So I'm very lucky with the crew I got to coach with for sure.
Coach, we oftentimes hear, it's harder to stay on top than it is, to climb to get there. You guys were defending, 2 state titles before. Heading into the season, your first season as the actual head coach, no pressure there. What was your message, going into the season, knowing that you guys were one of the favorite and had a huge target on your back?
Yeah, we kind of felt like first year we wanted to win the 2A state championship 3 years ago. We never won a state championship, accomplished that. Last year we wanted to move up and win a 3A. So this year we wanted to show the whole state that, we could compete with the big dogs a little bit. If we played a 5A schedule, we'd lose 3 or 4 games. We know that, but we can go in there from week to week and maybe knock a team off here and there. That's kind of what we wanted to prove to everybody this year. And I told the kids, what's happened in the past, it doesn't mean nothing. Like, don't feel like there's pressure here that we have to win or anything like that. I was like, every year's a new year. Everybody's going to be coming after us. That's where we want our program to be. I'd rather be the guy that's getting hunted down than being the guy going to get people. So that's kind of where we want our program to be. And our motto this year was, build your own legacy. It was kind of our motto. We want our kids to kind of get to where they can kind of put their name on this program and leave something. And our senior class did. They went to 4 state championships, winning 3 of the 4. That's something that's going to be really hard to top. It's hard to win state championships, man. You got to be good. You got to be lucky. You got to catch some breaks here and there. It's really, really hard. There's a lot of good football teams in South Carolina, and it's hard to do it. And to do it 3 years in a row is just almost crazy, mind-blowing to do. So that was kind of our motto coming in. And the kids did a really good job of taking it and really trying to take it to the next level. We had a really rough start. Those first 2 games, man, we felt like we just let both of them go. They were really tough losses for us. The Irmo game, Irmo's a really good football team. We're going to throw the ball 60 times, and we're playing them in a monsoon raining. And it's just we're wide open, dropping I think we dropped a touchdown to go up 21-0 if we'd have called it, and felt like we'd have had a lot better chance to win. But those defensive ends were so good. They do such a good job of coaching that I just felt like we let that one get away. And then second game, we go down to Savannah, and we have 620 yards of offense and lose. Our defense played 59 snaps in the first half. I've never seen anything like it. Like, it was just they all cramped up, and we didn't have the depth to hang in there. I mean, we were trying to find people to put in the game in the fourth quarter, and it was just a wild night. I remember the bus ride down, we had Aiden's throwing up, sick as a dog. couple linemen are throwing up. The whole team's sick. And I was like, I don't know how this is how it's going to go tonight. But Hayden stepped up. I think we had 618 yards of offense and still lost. But that was a really good Calvary Day team that was upset that we got one on them the year before. And they wanted to make a point, whoop our behinds that night, and they did. But we still felt good. Felt like we had a good team, and then we kind of got rolling after that. We got a big win against Savannah Christian to get our first win of the year. And after that, the plan was just to run the table, try to win 13 in a row and kind of show people that we belong in this state. And that's what the kids did. They really had a good season after that.
Coach, you guys played some really big dogs, like you mentioned, they're in non-region with Irmo and Ashley Ridge and the Georgia schools and Dutch Fork, of course. And I'm sure they helped prepare you for a deep playoff run, but it felt like in the playoffs, you guys really even found another level, really hammered everyone. I think you won every game by 3 scores or more. What did you guys do so well down the stretch there? What kind of change heading into that playoff run there for your team?
Yeah, coming in, we kind of felt at the beginning of the season, our offense was a little bit ahead of our defense and they'd have to pull us along. But our defense kind of caught up about halfway through the season. I think it was the Ashley Ridge game. We kind of leaned on our defense and we had to run the football to win, which is not what we do. And that was kind of the changing point. The second half of the Ashley Ridge game was kind of like, okay, we can win by running the football and playing behind our defense, then we're a really, really good football team. And to be honest with you, it was in the playoffs, it was all the fans. Like on social media, all the fans from other teams were just lighting us up. We're not liked a whole lot. And I get it. I understand being a charter school, it's a different beast. I agree with a lot of it. We wish we could play 5A ball. We'd ask to be moved up. We want to play. If we could put our football team in 5A, we would be happy. That's where we want to be. But it would kill our other sports. Our softball team wouldn't win a game. Some of our other sports could hang in there with 5A, but we would struggle. So a lot of people are upset that we're in 3A football because we don't look like a 3A football team. And I do agree with them. We kind of got to that point. But I tell you, our defense was really upset going into that Dillon game and going into that Loris game where it kind of felt like they were overlooked. They had a chip on their shoulder. And I knew coming out the locker room in both of those games, I was like, and the state championship, I was like, our defense, they had a look in their eye like they were going to punish somebody. If you had the football, you were going to get hit. You were going to get hit hard. And they wanted to prove a point because our offense gets a lot of write-up in the paper and all. You hear about them all the time. You don't hear a lot about the defense. And that with a little bit of the chirping from the fans about how much they were going to score on us and stuff like that. And, man, I just knew – I was scared for the other teams, to be honest with you, the way our defense looked all week. I think it was the Dillon week. I had to stop practice Tuesday and Wednesday because I said, guys, somebody's going to get hurt. Like, y'all have got to pull it back some. And they were just so hungry to play. It was just crazy. That and the Loris week, I stopped practice twice that week and sent everybody home. And they're like, what are you doing? And I was like, guys, we're going to get – like, we're wide open. We're going full go. Like, all they want to do is hit somebody. Like, this is crazy. We've got to get them to Friday. And they played about what I thought they were going to play like. I think they gave up like 30 points in 5 playoff games. It was crazy. It really was.
Well, if anybody listens to Moving the Chains, no part of your team was overlooked this year. We talked you guys up all throughout the season and the postseason. But I got to go back a little bit. I want to talk about that Dutch Fork game. There's rare nights where, a specific contest sends shockwaves through the state. And, of course, Dutch Fork has been the premier program in South Carolina. You knocked those guys off. Of course, Dutch Fork goes on, wins another state championship this year. But in non-region play, Oceanside was able to knock those guys off. What did that mean for you as a coach? What did that mean for the program going forward? And how special was that evening? Because it really did shine a light on Mount Pleasant, that night.
Yeah, absolutely. It was huge for our program. A lot of people don't know, but the year before they beat us 51-0, and we had 51 yards of offense that night. They had a point for every yard we gained. And the whole offseason, the message was like, we kind of felt like we didn't show up that night. We kind of punked out a little bit and didn't play our best game. And we were a little starstruck when we got up there to Dutch Fork. And we didn't give them the game that we should have. They shouldn't have scheduled us the way we played them 2 years ago, and it was upsetting moment for our whole program and our team. And we were on a mission to prove that we belonged, even if we didn't win. We wanted to hang in there with them and show that we could play ball with these big teams. And all week I had a good feeling. I liked the game plan. I kind of felt like they thought we were going to air it out a lot, and our plan was to kind of try to run it down their throat a little bit and keep their offense off the field as much as we could and run the clock. And we huddled and slowed the game down and try to make them play one-on-one outside and then take our shots with our big guys when we got one-on-one outside. And the plan really worked good. But it was really good. It was a good win because, my dad's last football game was a loss to Dutch Fork. That was his last game he ever coached at Fort Dorchester. And I think for 5 or 6 years there, it felt like it was us and them to win state championships, how we felt at Fort Dorchester. And they won. Like 99% of the time we felt like they always beat us. And the one year we won at 2015, we didn't get a chance to beat them that year. I think Dorman knocked them off. So it was always felt like I owed them one just because I took so many butt cuttings from them. I think the Carry-On Joiners last game was a loss to them. My dad's last game was a loss to Dutch Fork. So definitely owe them more than one. It felt good to finally get one on him. He's a really good coach, and he has a really good football team. I think this year was the best coaching job he's ever done, and I think he's the best coach in North or South Carolina without a doubt. And I don't think anybody could argue that with me. I could show him 100 reasons why he's the best coach. But this year he did a really good job of coaching. He didn't have as great of a team as he normally does, but it just showed he hangs his hat on doing the right things, kids being responsible where they're supposed to be. I love his style of football. It's in your face, hard-nosed football. He's not giving you smoke and mirrors. He's coming right at you. And I love his style. And be honest with you, I've tried to coach like he does. I look up to him. I try to play the same brand of football that he does, a tough physical defense. We're going to run power right at you and take our shots. We got weapons outside. That's kind of the brand of football I tried to play, and I mimicked it after what he does, to be honest with you.
Well, Coach, let's take a look at the state title game, a 28-7 victory over Belton Honeypath out of the upper state. You guys were pretty balanced on offense, it felt like. Well, I think $177 rushing, 152 passing. When you guys watched film leading up to the game, is that something you kind of thought you'd be able to do, or is it something where maybe the rain and the weather kind of adjusted your game plan as well that day?
Yeah, all week we knew it was going to be rainy, and that's not our ideal situation. We want to throw it and they want to run it. So we felt like the rain was going, as a staff, we felt like it was going to play into, help them a little bit for sure. We want to play them on a dry field and throw it 100 times if we can in the game plan wise. But that's just not the cards we were dealt that day. And we knew if we protected the ball and played behind our defense, we thought we'd be able to get out of there. They do a really good job of running the football. So defensively, we were going to stop the run and make them beat us throwing it. And offensively, they do a good job. Their defensive coordinator is really good. So we wanted to give them a lot of wrinkles that they haven't seen. We got in some empty formations and put Terrence at quarterback, shifted 8 and out. They like to play us in some cover 0 and pressure us, some cover 2 man. So we gave them a lot of stuff they haven't seen before. And kids really just stuck together early. We were so fired up. We couldn't play. We couldn't get settled in. I remember at one point I'm yelling at the kids, just settle down and settle in. And Aiden's yelling back at me, you need to settle down. You need to settle in. I'm like, he's right. You're absolutely right. We just got to settle down and play football. We're going to be fine. But the kids were just so fired up for that day that it's hard to keep them settled down. So the first quarter was a disaster offensively, but we settled in the second quarter, got some points on the board, and kind of played behind our defense. I thought our defense played really well. The conditions were so bad. I was hoping they were going to postpone the game. I think we went through 22 footballs that game. They were all soaked and couldn't keep a ball dry. But that's football, You never know what you're going to get. That's why it's the greatest team sport ever. So you never know who you got to depend on. But we ended up having a really good day in the state championship, played a physical game and played a very physical BHP team and ended up coming out on top.
As guys who like to stay on the sidelines covering games, we wish that one would have gotten postponed as well. But here we are. It was still a good one. But Coach, just want to talk about your program in general as well. Third straight title that we've mentioned, previously in this interview. A fan base that supports you guys so well. What was it like for this group? You mentioned them building their own legacy. What was it like to add to that trophy room and bring another state title back to the school?
Yeah, it meant a lot for this senior class. They wanted to leave this school the right way and go out on top in their final game, and just the amount of work they had put in. I mean, I would be willing to bet that we have the smallest weight room of any team in the state. We have a weight room that's half the size of a classroom. We have a locker room that has school lockers in it. The shoulder pads don't fit in, helmets don't fit in. We don't have a lot of the nice stuff here. Our senior class has never played a home football game. We don't even have a stadium. We have to play every game's a road game for us. Our home stadium is the Citadel if we can get it. It might be Charleston Southern for the Dutch Fork game. It's just wherever we can find a place to play. But the kids don't let them bother. Don't let that bother them. They're a very resilient bunch, and they just come to work and come to school and work so hard every day and love each other and get after it and just put a good product on the field. And we have so much support in our community and so much support with our family and our booster club. I mean, no coach here has ever washed a jersey. We've never washed a pair of pants. We've never fed a kid. We've never had to set the bus up. Like, all we do is coach football. And it's because our parents and booster club do so much to help us here. And it's just like a big family. And it's so much fun to coach football here. I didn't have one discipline problem all year. Not one time did I have a player get in trouble at school. And it makes it so much fun to coach football. And it's just, I love this place. I'm never leaving. They don't keep head coaches around here too long, so I don't know how long I'll be, but for sure I won't leave on my own. They'll have to get rid of me because I really do love this place. It's a great school, great community, and we've got things going in the right direction around here, and I really enjoy my time for sure.
Well, Coach, you've been a part of, I think, 4 football state titles now in the last several years. This is your first one, as the head coach. How has that felt different to you? Is it have a little different meaning to you now that you're the head man there at Oceanside?
Yeah, to be honest with you, the other 3 felt a lot better, man. It felt like a lot more pressure this time. I just didn't want to let the seniors down. Didn't want to let the kids down. I kind of felt like it was all on me. We had the best team, we felt like, in 3A, and if we didn't win, it was probably going to be my fault. So I really couldn't wait till that final horn hit on the last game. I was just ready to get it over with, but it was so much fun watching the kids play. Being an assistant, it's a lot easier than being a head coach. I figured out you got to do a lot more coaching, and I knew what I was getting into. I've walked around these hallways and the hallways at Fort Dorchester watching my dad, and I'd always say, I never want to be a head coach. My dad would walk by and Coach Wilkes would walk by here, and I'd say, yep, see what he's doing? That's what I never want to do. But, the situation just worked out for me and ended up getting this job here, and I've got it good. I've got the easiest head coaching job in the state. I know that. I really do. I have great kids, but this one was definitely fun. It's great to win one as the boss guy, and then to have my dad, guy that I helped for so many years, win one, and then have him in the stands watching and him on the field after the game. That meant a lot. Having his support means a lot, and it was definitely a fun run for sure.
That's awesome, Coach. And you keep winning state championships. I don't see how they can run you off down there. But got to ask you about it. We're not oblivious to it. No one else is. You guys get a lot of hate online. You mentioned it, especially through your playoff run with you guys being a charter school. How do you guys block out the noise, stay focused, and just continue to go about your business in winning?
Yeah, we get a lot, and and I understand it. Like, before I came to Oceanside, I was saying the same exact thing everybody else was about this place. I thought it was a school where they never go to class. They just take an online class and they don't have to do any school work. They get to practice every day at 11 o'clock. I was saying all the same things, and to the people that don't like what we have going on here, I really invite them, come take a tour. Come see what this place is about. And I guarantee before you leave here, you'll want your kid to go to school here. We don't keep the kids locked up in the classroom for 8 hours a day. I was a guy that you lose me after 3 or 4 hours. I don't have that long of attention span. Our kids take the core classes They have 4 core classes they take. What they do online is all their electives. So we don't have band and art and PE classes. All that stuff is done online here. The core classes are what we focus on here, and it's a great opportunity. We're a publicly funded school. Our kids don't pay any money to go to school here. Our left tackle, Monroe Freeling, that's starting at Georgia, he graduated Oceanside with 58 college credits that he did not pay a penny for. He's going to leave Georgia with his master's degree in 3 years. And, that's what this school was kind of made for. It's for kids that want to go on to the next level and be able to attend college and kind of get an early jump at it. Yes, we have a lot of athletes. We have 590 kids. 48% of our kids are athletes. 52% are just students. We have a lot of people that attend school here that are big into ballet. They can go to school from 7:20 to 11 o'clock and then go do ballet in the afternoon. We have kids that are big into getting into the workforce already. So they go to work every day at 12 o'clock. We don't just specialize in only sports. Yeah, we gear it towards sports. We want to help kids get to the next level in sports, but there's a lot of kids we help out here. I've been here 3 years. We haven't had a fight in 10 years, history of the school. We have not had a discipline slip in the 3 years I've been here. Everybody is kind of on a mission to get to the next level and do something with their life. And we don't have any problems here. It's a great place. And it's a very safe, it's the safest school ever. I really invite all those people that hate on us online, which I agree. I said the same thing they said before I got here. I'm not giving them a hard time. I really invite them to come see what we're about, and we're really helping kids. That's what we're doing, and that's what I'm in the business for. You can ask a lot of kids around that play for other teams. I'll help them get into college. I'm in the business of helping kids and not just only the ones I have. I think I've had 2 quarterbacks in the past 3 years that I helped go into other schools. Aiden's a really good quarterback. I helped Quinn Mahoney go into Bishop England, and he signed with Campbell. Our last quarterback, he transferred out of here 3 weeks ago, Banks Lutton. I helped him go to Bishop England again. So I told Coach Hall over at Bishop England, if I see him out, he owes me an adult beverage sometime because I've sent him some good QBs. But that's what I'm in the business to do, help kids, whatever type of kids it is. I don't care if it's mine or somebody else's. I just want to help kids. And all the naysayers about this place, at the end of the day, we are helping these kids. Everybody that goes to school here chooses to go to school here. We have a lottery system that we don't control it. I know everybody thinks we can do whatever we want. A good example is Jaden Kelly Murray. He has been trying to come here for 3 years. I could not get him to the lottery his freshman, sophomore, or junior year. His name didn't get picked. There's nothing I can do about it. He was lucky enough in December, we pulled 12 names out the lottery, and his got pulled. So he's finally got to go where he wants to go to school, and he's come here and been with us since January 5th when we got back in school. But it really is a lottery system that a computer picks. We have no control over, and that's just the way it is. I didn't believe it either before I got here until I experienced it for myself. It really is. But we're just here trying to help kids. I think anybody that sees what we do would really be impressed with what we're doing.
Well, Coach, when you guys are having the 10-year reunion, the 20-year reunion, whatever it is for the state title team, when you look back, what will you remember most about this season and this group of kids?
Yeah, I tell you, it's really how they carry themselves off the field. Everybody asks, how good a team do you have? My answer is always, I'll tell you in 20 years when I see what type of fathers and husbands they are. That's really how I'll kind of tell how good of a team we were. That's really at the end of the day. Winning games is fun and all, but I want to create good young men. I want to turn young boys into young adults. That's what I want to do here. And usually we do that and winning takes care of itself. But I think what I'm most proud of is how they interact with the youth, how they carry themselves in our community, how they carry themselves around the school. One of our linebackers, lost his mother week 3. And at the funeral that week, every single player, every varsity and every JV player in our program, 97 kids, every one of them showed up. And it wasn't something that was mandatory or we took a bus to. They all brought themselves there. And that's really the moment I knew how special of what I got going on is here. It was that moment that day, and it was a tough funeral. It was a lady that passed away too soon for sure. There wasn't a dry eye in the church that day, but that's kind of how life is. I want them to know life's not always easy. There's going to be some ups and downs in life, but when you get knocked off your feet, it's what you do when you get back up, makes you who you are. And we found out that day that life's not as easy as we think, but we found a way to make a positive out of it. And I think it brought us closer as a team. Really do. But that's what I'm most proud. How they carry themselves off the field is what I'm proud about this team. And it'll be exciting in that 10-year and 20-year reunion to see how successful they are as husbands and fathers. I can't wait. That'll be a fun day.
Well, this has been great. I want everyone to go follow Coach LaPrad and the Landshark program on social media. They do a great job posting updates on their kids and their program. Certainly a team to watch out for each and every year, it feels like. And as always, follow us on social media and our website, movinchange.com. Our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. Moving the Change, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Jerel, anything else for Coach? We'll let him go today.
Yeah, of course. As always with these, we want to say congratulations. We're talking to you because you want a state championship and your program won a state title down there in Orangeburg. So congrats on that, this magical season. No one can ever take that away from you. Hell of a way to kick off the Brent LaPrad era at Oceanside for sure. I want to thank you for your time and speaking with us. You've told us that you're fans of ours. We're huge fans of you, so we'll continue to do so. If you ever need anything from us, please let us know, and hopefully we'll be able to talk soon and do some more interviews.
Absolutely, man, and thank you guys for what y'all do for everybody in the state. Y'all are fair. You do a great job of reporting, and everybody, we're lucky to have you, and we know that. So keep doing what you guys do. Y'all are great at it, and it's great the coverage y'all give these kids. Thank y'all.
Well, Coach, we really appreciate that. And once again, like Jerel said, congrats again. Look forward to stopping by a practice or a game next year and get to catch up with you soon. And best luck this offseason, all right?
All right. Thanks, guys.
Founders Federal Credit Union means banking made for you. The on the go, the pick up and go, and the oh, I want to go. Because at Founders, we give you the financial tools that make every dollar work for you. For the little things to the big things. For your future and your peace of mind. We'll always stay grounded in our roots, but reaching beyond what you'd expect is where we'll always go. Find out what our members already know and enjoy a new way to bank. Relax, you're with Founders.
Get ready for the ultimate South Carolina high school football experience with Movin the Chains. From previews to recaps, we've got you covered. Dive into our expert preview shows, predicting winners and sharing insights. Then join us post-game for the thrilling recaps, exclusive interviews, and highlights you won't find anywhere else. Plus, connect with fellow fans on our Friday night spaces on Twitter/X. No one covers South Carolina high school football like us. Join us at Movin Chains on all social media platforms and visit movinchains.com today.